Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something literally incredible. We are breaking down a deeply passionate, highly poetic text completely dedicated to the legendary acting teacher, Sanford Meisner. Now, whether you're a performer yourself, a creative, or honestly just someone fascinated by what it actually takes to achieve true mastery, there is so much for us to uncover here. It's not just some dry set of instructions. It is this vivid manifesto of an artist dedicating their absolute entire being to their craft. Let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll hit the reality of doing. Second, igniting the inner life. Third, the art of reacting. Fourth, daily practice and habit. And finally, number 5, the actor of life.
Okay, so to really understand this text, we absolutely have to start with its heartbeat. Throughout this entire source material, there's a recurring mantra the author just repeats over and over. I believe in my teacher's words. Sanford Meisner is his name. Acting is the reality of doing. My name is in Hollywood fame. That repetition, it's not just poetic filler at all. It fundamentally grounds the actor's whole philosophy. It's their true north. Every single time they explore some new, deep concept, they deliberately anchor themselves right back in this belief in their ultimate, ambitious destination, Hollywood fame.
Section 1. The reality of doing. Defining the Meisner approach.
The absolute core of this entire text is breathtakingly simple. Acting is the reality of doing. The author isn't talking about, putting on a mask or just faking an emotion for the camera. No way. They are stating that acting relies entirely on authentic, truthful action. It's all about being fully present and genuinely doing something, even under completely imaginary circumstances. The text makes it crystal clear. The pursuit of that Hollywood fame isn't built on pretending. It relies absolutely fundamentally on this concrete reality of action.
Section 2. Igniting the inner life. Emotions and senses.
Notice the massive transformation the author describes right here. We move explicitly from information to imagination. You see, an actor can't simply absorb mere facts or script details and leave it at that. They have to actively shift all that cold data into a full sensory, incredibly vivid imagination. It's quite literally the bridge between just knowing your lines and actually living the reality of the scene.
And man, when that shift happens, the results described in the text are explosive. The author details these very specific elements being brought to life, the inner life of myself and the feelings of my heart. The text explains that when these deep emotions successfully flow together, this incredible, powerful alignment occurs. As the author passionately puts it, my mind, body, and soul are ignited. It's a total, holistic awakening of the performer's internal world.
And just as that emotional intensity reaches its absolute peak, the text does something so brilliant. It returns to the mantra. I believe in my teacher's words. Sanford Meisner is his name. The actor intentionally grounds themselves right back down in Meisner's teachings. It perfectly illustrates how strict discipline and structure have to contain and guide all that fiery emotional territory.
Section 3. The art of reacting. Senses and attention.
I really want to slow down for a second and highlight this seemingly simple yet profoundly enthusiastic phrase from the text, and I love reacting. The source material points out that because the actor's senses are in attention and their confidence is high, it naturally leads straight to the sheer joy of reacting. It isn't this stressful, agonizing process of figuring out what to do next. When you're totally present and your inner life is ignited, reacting just becomes effortless and honestly, deeply enjoyable.
Section 4. Daily practice and habit. The work behind the art. Now, what is absolutely crucial to understand is that this level of mastery doesn't just happen by accident. The text literally breaks down a step-by-step daily routine for training the mind. The author talks about remembering the teacher before work, reading his book, following a script, and dedicating specifically 10 minutes every day to this practice. And then finally, allowing time to reflect. It's such a testament to the rigorous, unglamorous, everyday discipline that's actually required to master the craft.
Through this continuous daily grind, the text outlines the multifaceted tools the actor cultivates over time. It's all about the skills I learned, the craft I developed, and fine-tuning the instruments of my mind. The author places huge emphasis on practicing and making a habit out of it, because you see, it's this exact habituation that allows those deep emotional and reactive elements we just talked about to operate completely on instinct.
And this brilliantly shows exactly why the mantra pops up once again. That rigorous daily discipline, the reading, the 10 minutes a day, the quiet reflection. It all serves a singular focused purpose.
It's aiming directly toward that ultimate goal mentioned in the refrain, "My name is in Hollywood fame." The repetition in the poem perfectly mirrors the repetitive nature of daily practice itself.
Section 5. The Actor of Life. Beyond the Stage.
Now look at this incredibly powerful shift in the narrative. The author proudly declares, "I'm the actor of my life." At this point, the narrator is no longer just talking about performing some script written by somebody else. No, they are taking active, personal ownership of their own reality and their own narrative. It's like the principles of authenticity and presence have totally bled out of the theater and directly into their everyday existence.
The text gives us these very specific, highly personal, real-life applications of this mindset. For example, the author mentions searching for a beautiful wife, showing us how the pursuit of genuine connection applies straight to romance. They talk about watching my performance in the mirror, which is just a fascinating metaphor for self-reflection and accountability in our daily lives. And they speak of igniting consciousness with his amazing vibes, letting the grace of the teacher actually elevate their daily waking awareness. It really begs the question, how do you view your own performance in the mirror when absolutely nobody else is watching?
Which brings us to our final thought. The text repeats its powerful mantra one last time, cementing this epic journey from learning to practicing to truly living. So, I want to turn that mirror directly onto you. Based on everything we've unpacked from this manifesto today, what is the reality of doing in your own life? How can you apply this philosophy of authentic action, rigorous daily habit, and fully ignited senses to your own profession, your personal relationships, and your biggest life goals? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.